My next upload this evening is with regard to matters that I have described and outlined in formal procedures and in informal procedures. So the procedures that have been commenced since 2017 with regard to the wrongdoings and offences I've unjustifiably experienced regard legislation in this country as well. So it's not just the legislation, but the issue of the property theft as well that's quite dangerous. The issue of legislation and the issue of living in the conditions that I'm living and the poverty that's been imposed upon me due to culprits that have been stealing and defaming and slandering and that have been of spiritual violence are all very dangerous issues for me to be experiencing as a law-abiding citizen, as a spiritual, sentient, sacred, angelic royal. This is all really very embarrassing for even to be discussing. But for the fact that the government hasn't addressed these issues, I'm really kind of concerned. It's really serious that when I'm of legislation and when I have a clean track record and when I own property and when, you know, I'm of 3 state agencies in the past 10-15 years, I'm really concerned who's, you know, damaging the civil society principles, because as a sacred royal I have high esteem for the honourability and nobility of good practices and good procedures, and people that are kind of wrangling and avoiding and evading aren't really setting a good example. And as a teacher I have a huge obligation to be concerned about people that are not setting a good example and that use evasion and avoidance tactics. Now the other very dangerous issue is the issue of my sacred royal light body. Now, as I've mentioned throughout my uploads, there's an inestimable value to my light body. As a sacred royal, these are issues that I'm still waiting for the relevant bodies to address. GSOC have been contacted since 2017. The TUSLA Child and Family Agency have been contacted since 2017, and so is the Honourable Government. So I'm wondering who is imposing upon me and my boundaries, disrupting my property and my protocol entitlements and my patronage and stealing my wealth and property, and what kind of an agency of democracy that is to respect the pillars of society and good faith and good practice. What kind of people are facilitating these kind of offences? It's very dangerous. Those that have damaged my sacred light body, my sacred gifts, light and blessings, and my beautiful child, and that are on my property, are really causing a very serious problem. So I'd appreciate the relevant agencies, after 3.5 years of contacting you by informal and formal means, I'd really appreciate it if these would be addressed. I'm concerned about the mental health of these people. It's absolutely outrageously neurotic what I've experienced and survived and endured. So I'd appreciate their mental health being